Hi everybody, this is Tor Storley and I am back with another video presentation. In this presentation, we're going to take a look at how you can do some basic calculations in QGIS, and then we'll compare it to the output that you can find on different internet sources such as Wikipedia. And I will step through how you can generate some data and how you can do some calculation in QGIS. So let's get started. So here I have an instance of QGIS installed on my machine. And I think this version is 3.16.6 Hanover. So again, the QGIS like to use city names primarily in Europe. A lot of the developers are from Europe and elsewhere. You can get an idea of who is developing this, but you can see there's quite a bit of them here in Europe. And also, these are the names of some of the people that are working on this project. So I just want to point that out for you. So here we are in QGIS. What we want to do is we want to generate some shapes, and then we want to do some calculations. So I have a file here from the Census Bureau for counties in the US from the 2020 Census Bureau survey. So I'm going to drag that in here and drop it. And when you do, you're going to see something like this. So I'm interested in a shape. So I'm going to only select the SHP file, say OK, and then you can see it shows up here. And here is the US counties. So you can zoom to layer, etc. But what I want to do is I want to create my own files. I don't want to use all these counties. So I'm going to duplicate this layer. I'm going to rename it. So what I want to do is I want to work with a subset of this. So let me rename this file and I'll call it like this. So the next thing I want to do, I want to filter this to the US counties only. So I'm going to open up this. Actually, I can do it right here. So I can filter right here. I can choose state FP. And I know Illinois is 17, so I'm going to choose 17 as an index number. Let's test that. And as you can see, it returns 102 rows, and that's the number of counties in Illinois. So let's go ahead and let's not save it here. Let's say OK. And when you do, you can see nothing really happened here on this layer until I uncheck this guy. So now when I zoom into this layer, you can see now I have only Illinois selected. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this, export this file so we can work with a smaller subset. So let me go ahead and export this. I'm going to save it as an S3 shapefile. I don't want to save it as NAD83. I want to save it as 4326 WGS 84 file. You could potentially take some of this stuff out. All right, so let's find out a place to put this. And as you can see, now it's saved and it's from this location. Let's just clear all this stuff out so we get a clean start. So I'll remove this. So now we got a clean start. These are the files now. I'm interested in this shape file here. So I'm just going to grab that guy and drag it in here. So now we have a fresh start. So here is my Illinois counties. And let's open up the attribute table. Here is the attribute table. And as you can see, we removed some of those fields from that attribute file. All right, so I saved the A land and the A water. I want to pick a few of these counties. So if you look at this A water and this A land, the WGS 84 is using meters as its conversion factor. So in other words, the geography is in meters. So what you're looking at here is meters squared. So this is represent area of landmass for this county. And this is the area for the water. What you can do is for the county, we combine these two numbers to get a square meter area. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to create a calculated field that combines these two. So how do you do that? Well, there is a icon over here that says Open Field Calculator. So when I click on that, I'm getting this dialog box popping up. So what I want to create is I want to create a new virtual field. What I want to do is I don't want to update an existing field. So I'm going to create a new one to go into these existing fields and value. And I want to combine the land area with the water area. All right, so that's the area calc. Well, actually, I should call it county. So that's the county calculated. So let's run that. You can see a preview down here. We'll run that. And now you can see you get the calculated land. But notice there's some nulls in here. Why is that? Well, that is really not what I wanted because it strips out some of the longer values here. Let me try that one more time. The point I'm making here is that you can't really use this whole number because it only goes up to 10 digits. So instead, I'm going to choose text. Take the fields again and let's combine the two. So I'm going to say land plus water. And you can see down here, here's the number. So let's run that one more time. Now you can see I got values here. So because I used integers up to 10, I'm not getting everything calculated. So I chose text here. That's how you compute the area combined based on what's in here. All right, so what do I mean by this? Well, let's do this. I'm going to take this area of the land that comes with the attribute files from the Census Bureau. And now I created this spreadsheet. So let me show you how that works. I'm going to put my land value here in this field. And then I'm going to go back to QGIS. And I'm going to copy the water portion. So I'm going to right click, say copy. And then I'm going to go in here and say paste. So when I do that, I'm getting this value, which is the county value calculated. So that's the first thing. Now, if I look at this one, this is in square meters, right? And of course, the conversion factor is simply 1 here for the square meters. What I want to do, however, is I want to get the calculated square kilometers and I want to get the calculated square miles. So how do I do that? Well, if you go out to a website here, you can see square meters to square kilometers. It gives a conversion factor of 1e negative, meaning 1 to the neg 6. So what does that mean? Well, if you go to Excel and you look at the conversion, it simply means this. So when you say 1e negative 6 like this and hit enter, you can see it converts it this, but it's really the 6th decimal point that becomes a 1. So that's what that one means. So therefore it becomes this number right here. Now if you went back to that conversion place again, and instead of doing square kilometers, we show square miles, you're getting this conversion factor. So if I copy this one back to my spreadsheet and I paste it here, you can see this becomes the conversion factor. 0, 0 to the decimal point. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 3861. So that's what I want to multiply. So to get the square miles, I calculated with this what's values in C6, as you can see here. So C11 is the total. If I put a F2 on this, you can see it's this C11 times the C6, which is the conversion, and then I simply round it here to get it in square miles. I round it to 0 decimals. Now this one here, I'm rounding 1 back, and I'll show you that in a second why I do that. So that's in square kilometers. Let's go back to this file, and let's choose a bigger county here. I'm going to choose Cook County in Illinois, which is where the county where Chicago, the city, lays in. And as you can see, if I choose Cook County and I copy this file value for the A land and I put it in here, and then I go back and get the from the attribute file, I'll get the water as well. Back to the spreadsheet, plunk that in here, and it calculates the square kilometers and the square miles. So how can I test that my calculations actually are working here? Well, I can go back to my internet site here. I can go to Lake County using Wikipedia. And if you look here, if I choose Cook County, which is the one I showed you. So let me change that to Cook County. Hit enter. And now we're in Cook County, Illinois. So let's scroll down. The nice thing about Wikipedia is that it shows you the area. So when I look at area here, you can see the land value and the water value. And this is in square miles, and this is in square kilometers. So that's the land and that's the water. So when I combine those two, it turns out to be 1,635 square miles and 4,230 square kilometers. So let's go back to the spreadsheet and look at those numbers. So if I make this a little smaller and kind of compare it, as you can see here, the square kilometers from the attribute table, which is the same as you can see here. It's the 4230, this one, and 1635 is the square miles. So you can see we have those two numbers. Now I did round this to a -1, meaning this was 4235, but I rounded down so it becomes 30 instead of 35. So that seems to work. That seems to be comparable to what they do here. This number seems to be okay. It looks like they might be taking some of this stuff from the Census Bureau, these values. That's how you can compute it. Now, the second thing I wanted to do is how do we compute it right from the shape files themselves, and how accurate are they now that we convert them into the QGIS 84. So let's get rid of the layer here and redo it. Okay, so I got a clean copy of my county file, and now we want to see, based on the shape files themselves, what are the calculations going to look like, meaning the area in kilometers, square kilometers, and square miles. So let's open up the attribute tables again. It looks like this. And what I want to do now is I want to add those calculations in here based on the shape files and not the actual A land and the A water values. So let's add two or one field here. All right, and I want it to be in text. I am gonna take the actual shape this time. So I'm gonna choose the geometry section over here and the area calculation. So what I want to say now is I want to say round the area times the conversion factors for square kilometers was 0.12345, like this. And let's put another parenthesis around this. And let's call this a -1 rounding. So here is the calculation. Let's say OK. And there we go. So now you can see it computes in square kilometers here. So let's do one more calculated field. And this time we'll call it calc square miles, like this. Let's make a text. And again, we're going to choose geometry and choose the area function times. This time I want to use the conversion for the square miles, which is this factor. So let's grab that guy. And let's go back here and multiply by that. And let's run that guy and look. So here we are. And now we have some numbers. So let's again go and visit our friend Lake County. So let's scroll down to find Lake. Here's Lake. And 3540 and 1368. So that looks like the number, if you recall from the Wikipedia. So if you look at the area total, 1368 and 3540, which is pretty much what we had here, I believe. So if we scroll down the lake, 3540, 1368. 1368 square miles, 3540. So anyways, just wanted to run that quick by you and let you know. So I look forward to see you very soon. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you want me to continue doing this. Again, have a great day. Thank you.